You know, the 2018 film Alpha is finding a whole new life on Netflix. And it is so much more than just a survival story. It's this visually stunning epic that imagines the very first handshake, or maybe more like the first nose nuzzle, between a human and a wolf. So today we're going to peel back the layers of this incredible Ice Age world and explore the film's powerful story, its surprising historical accuracy, and the insane detail that brought it all to life.
Now, you might think this is just another classic boy and his dog story, but the film poses a question that completely turns that whole idea on its head. It really gets to the core of the film's message. What if the single partnership that would literally change the course of human history all started with a simple case of mistaken identity? All right, so picture this. We're in Paleolithic Europe, 20,000 years ago. We meet Keta, a young man on his very first hunt with his tribe. Now, he's the chief's son, but you can tell right away he just doesn't have that killer instinct. And during this absolutely terrifying bison hunt, everything goes wrong. Keta gets gored, thrown off a massive cliff, and his tribe, including his heartbroken father, has no choice but to leave him for dead. But of course, Keta doesn't stay alone for long. His desperate fight for survival is about to become a story about a totally unexpected bond. One that's forged with a creature that really should have been his mortal enemy.
And what's crazy is that both Keta and this wolf are in the exact same boat. After being attacked by a wolf pack, Keta manages to injure one of them, which is then immediately abandoned by its own pack. But this is where Keta's true nature, his compassion, shines through. He just can't bring himself to finish the job. Instead, he starts nursing the wolf back to health. Suddenly, you have two outcasts left behind by their families, whose paths have now become one.
Now, this bond does not happen overnight. It is absolutely earned. It starts with this really cautious care. Keta tending to the wolf's wounds, sharing a little bit of food. But over time, that caution melts into trust, and they actually become hunting partners. They're a team, each one teaching the other how to survive in this brutal, unforgiving wilderness.
But what really, truly forges their bond is a shared mission. Keta and the wolf, who he decides to name Alpha, are both just desperately trying to get back home. And it's this unspoken understanding that transforms them from just allies of convenience into, well, true companions.
This world just feels so incredibly real, but it makes you wonder, how accurate is it? I mean, historical films always take some creative liberties, right? But Alpha actually surprised a lot of archaeologists with its incredible attention to detail. So let's see how its version of the Ice Age actually stacks up against the real archaeological record.
First off, these aren't just your generic cavemen. The film grounds its characters in a very specific group, the Solutreans. And yeah, this was a real Upper Paleolithic culture, known for their really sophisticated tools and complex social groups. The filmmakers made a very deliberate choice to root their story in a real, even if very distant, human culture.
So the filmmakers got a lot right. Archaeologists were super impressed with the clothing, all finely tailored and layered, which was essential for survival. And the tools? Those unique leaf-shaped stone points are absolutely spot on for the Solutrean culture. But yeah, they did take some liberties for a little more drama. The bow and arrow, for instance, that technology didn't exist in this period. And that saber-toothed cat? That specific kind was actually native to the Americas, not Europe. But you get it, a bow is an easy visual for hunting, and a saber-toothed cat is just an iconic Ice Age threat. But maybe the most impressive, most mind-blowing feat of world building in Alpha wasn't something you could see. It was something you heard. The filmmakers decided not to have the characters speak English, and instead, they went for something way more ambitious.
I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. 20,000 years. It's an almost unimaginable gap in time. We have fossils, we have tools, but we don't have recordings of spoken words. We have absolutely no idea what language actually sounded like back then. So if you're a filmmaker, how do you solve that problem?
Well, you invent one. The language in the film, which is called Bima, is what's known as a conlang, a constructed language. It was created from scratch, entirely for the movie, just to give this world a deep, deep feeling of authenticity. This isn't just gibberish, it's a fully realized language with its own grammar and structure.
And to do this, they didn't just wing it. They brought in a total pro, Dr. Christine Schreier, a linguistic anthropologist who has created languages for other huge movies, like Man of Steel. Her mission was crystal clear: make it sound real. The goal was total immersion. They wanted the audience to believe they were truly listening to people from 20,000 years ago.
So how on earth do you build a 20,000-year-old language from scratch? Well, Dr. Schreier started with what we think we know about the ancient ancestors of modern languages. By studying their structure, she was able to essentially work backward in time using linguistic theory and, okay, a little creative license, to build a language that feels authentically ancient. And the cast just performs it brilliantly. It makes the world feel so real.
Okay, so all of this rich, detailed world building serves one single purpose: to ground the core story. So let's get back to that story and its incredibly powerful conclusion, which gives us one possible origin story for the bond between humans and our canine friends.
So after this absolutely brutal journey, Keda and Alpha finally make it back to his village. They are both broken, they're near death. But as the tribe shaman starts tending to Alpha's wounds, she makes this startling discovery. And here it is, the film's biggest twist. The fearsome wolf that Keda named Alpha is not only female, but she's pregnant.
And that reveal just unlocks all these different meanings for the film's title. I mean, Alpha isn't just the name Keda gives his friend. It's also about a beginning, the Alpha, the very dawn of the human-dog relationship. And in a way, it's about Keda too. He started out as this boy who couldn't kill, and through this incredible bond, he becomes a true survivor, an alpha in his own right.
Alpha gives birth to a litter of puppies, and in the film's absolutely beautiful final shot, we see Keda's tribe out on a hunt. But this time, they're not alone. They're flanked by Alpha and her grown puppies. The two species aren't adversaries anymore. They're not even just allies. They're one integrated unit, a family, hunting together.
And this leaves us with the film's central, beautiful idea. It suggests that maybe the most important partnership in all of human history didn't start with dominance or some calculated plan. Maybe, just maybe, it all started simply with one boy, one wolf, and a single world-changing act of compassion. Thanks for watching.